Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. We're doing a comparison video. On the left we have the Xbox Series X Definitive Edition. On the right we have the Xbox 360 version of San Andreas. So when we go to the left here, what we're getting is a 4K resolution target at 30 FPS because we are doing the fidelity mode. I thought that made the most sense in regards to comparing the visuals and also the frame rates of the two games a little bit more closely. So with that, I've turned off the HDR feature. There was no auto HDR on San Andreas, the original 360 version anyways, so I've turned that off on both sides, just so that there are no sort of like visual impacts due to HDR in the definitive edition. So with that, again, 30-ish FPS, it's a little bit weird. Anyways, at around 4K resolution. Then on the right, it's like 720p at 30 FPS. So both of them, 30 frames per second roughly, and no HDR. And yeah, this is the kind of the comparison. We're showing off a sequence of driving moments and also some walking scenes so that you can get a viewing of the different visual angles between the different options. And it was extremely hard to line this up because, well, the driving in this game is not great. It is particularly rough in the 360 version where the game handles terribly. Absolutely terribly. Anyways, these are a ton of work to put together. So liking the video is great, subscribing is great as well. So yeah, mostly what I was hoping to showcase here was, hey, you know, we've got this one version of it that is now delisted, the 360 version. That was the oldest version you have on the Xbox that's playable. And then, you know, on the left we have this brand new version of the game. Let's see how big of a difference this is. And it is actually quite a massive gap in technology. I think it's even more impressive when you actually sit here and look at, you know, just even a full screen of this new version of the game that is optimized for Series X. Just wanted to confirm that as well. So you could just see like the difference in lighting, the texturing, the movement of the characters. Very, very much improved over that original version, or at least this 360 version, by an absolute ton. And I know it wasn't the best port of either of them, to be honest, but you know, it is something that actually is a bit of a substantial increase and improvement. Now, also, you may notice that the time of day in some scenes is a little off at times. I do resynchronize it, same with if there's any moments where, hey, one side is a little faster than the other, it will get synchronized pretty quickly as we show off a sequence of, hey, here's driving, here's running, you know, stuff like that. And just, you know, it was hard to really synchronize this one. You know, it's just kind of like choppy on both sides. And anyways, yeah. So the biggest differences you're going to notice, I think, immediately, aside from texturing, aside from the really improved lighting, is also like the render distance, the amount of objects, the pop-in. The 360 version has a ton of vehicular pop-in, but I did notice that the 360 version tends to have an increased density of traffic at times. I don't know, it seems like pileups and stuff that there does end up being a little bit more vehicle traffic. Now, again, with the Series X version, I do actually suggest doing the 60 FPS option, the performance mode. We're not showing that today because, again, this is supposed to be a more easygoing comparison between, hey, let's get these lined up a little bit better so that you can see, you know, the prime visual elements of it. At least that's what I was going for when putting this together, because I thought that was kind of the best way to present these two. But it's kind of neat. We're in another driving sequence. We showed off a little bit of running. Don't worry, there'll be another extended running period, because I think a big part of the game is not just the driving, it's also the walking around. But when you do the driving, you're able to cover greater distances a lot faster, right? You could see a lot more of the map. And I try to show off, hey, here's some of the more dense city area, and then, hey, here's some of the out of city, kind of more open, kind of countryside almost like environments that you can go to, and then wrapping it back around and doing some more city type running. So it is actually kind of impressive, the original version, in regards to like what was there, but now you can really see it kind of more sharply come alive. And I don't necessarily think it's a perfect, you know, sort of port of the experience, the new one, or upgrade or remaster of the, you know, the original game and whatnot, but I do think it is something that does have quite an upgrade over what we had prior, which was kind of cool. And again, the day and night cycle is so hard to synchronize when you're doing comparisons in this game. You know, it really is, because it's so dynamic. And then on top of that, you know, you've got like weathering stuff happening, and it could just be really hard to get going and get match made perfectly, right? Because I'm trying to synchronize these to the best of my ability, that you can directly see, hey, here's one side, here's the other. But anyways, I don't really have many other details to go over. this is a modern version of it on the left, and on the right, this is a version that will very likely be forgotten by most individuals because, again, they've delisted it. It's a rarity. You had to have gotten it when it was available, and now it just won't exist. So it'll always be a neat little time capsule of that original version of the game that I could maybe go back to occasionally and take a look at. But that's it. There will be another walking sequence coming up, and then some cuts in and outs towards the end. But I don't have much else to say, and I hope you enjoyed this look at Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, a comparison. Again, the left, the Series X definitive edition of the game that's part of a trilogy pack, and on the right, the 360 version that was running in back compat on the Series X. So, yeah, that's it. Like the video. Subscribing is great as well, and I hope you enjoyed.
Look where you're going. What is your problem? Oh, I know what it is to suffer.
Get the hell out of here! I didn't do it! Los Santos is a baller's town.
It better pick up around here soon.
You smell bad. Chief is driving me nuts. Hey, man, don't be bumping into me, man.
You gotta get out of my way!
British press ruined me. Never wrote about me at all.